Welcome to Environment Cleanup. Do your users a favor? Hey, I'm Eric, and with Business Central in the cloud, system admins at the customer has the ability to copy an environment. But that actually poses some interesting challenge, because let's say you have a Business Central running, and there are job queues that connects and sends out invoices and connects to external web services and pull in data. And so as soon as you copy your production environment, then your sandbox will start doing all this stuff, automated stuff that production are supposed to do. But now you're pulling transactions into your sandbox, which and perhaps the sandbox is faster than production, or triggering before, something like that, and now it's a whole mess. And by just copying a sandbox, you have basically destroyed lots of things, and all the users hate you, and yeah, that's pretty bad. But that doesn't happen, because what's actually happening is that when you're making the copy of an environment, Microsoft goes through a list and do a lot of stuff. Actually, let me show the list of that. Here is the documentation. So when you copy an environment, tasks in the job queue are stopped. Any base application integration settings are cleared, such as CRM integration. Any features that were enabled in the original environment will also be turned off in the copy. Outbound HTTP calls from extension are blocked by default and must be approved. So if you had something running that connected, now it will not allow that, and so on. And we got a bunch of things like the following setups are set to status disabled. So document exchange, currency exchange rate, graphs, URM, CDS, and so on. So Microsoft goes through all this list whenever you copy an environment to prevent stuff from happening that are not supposed to happen in the sandbox. So in order not to screw up production. And this is pretty cool. This is wonderful. There's only one little that what about all the stuff you have done in your extensions, in your customizations, in your apps, for that sake? Because your apps is not on this list, and your customizations is clearly not on this list. So how do you go about this? Let me show you. Let me find something. So I just created a new app. So what we can do, because there's actually an event for that. So if we create a new file, say called cleanup, that's clearly a code unit. And now I just broke this thing on a new machine. So hooray for that. Cleanup. And let's see if I can save this and then reload. So this is interesting. Microsoft cannot reproduce this error. I can. I need to send a machine to them at some point. Let me reload the window and see if I can get this to work. So I will do a T event subscriber. So we want to subscribe to an event in this case. We want to subscribe to a code unit. We want to subscribe to a code unit called hang on, what did I do? Environment cleanup. It's too easy, right? Environment cleanup. And we have on clear company config, on clear database config. And of course no secondary element, and we'll just say true to this guy. And what do we have as parameters? We have a destination and we have a source environment. So here we can see that if destination environment equal destination environment a sandbox, let's say we're copying to a sandbox, then we want to do something. Let's actually copy this guy and see the other one. So now instead of on clear database config, we want to do on clear company config. And then let's look at what parameters we have here. We have company name, destination, and source. So really depends on where your stuff is. But now you have the option to go in and say, okay, I'm gonna disable something. I know that's in case of the SharePoint connector, where there are certain information about credentials that are stored in the isolated storage table. If you haven't seen the video on the isolated storage, go subscribe to the channel and then go check and find the isolated storage, the secret keeper code unit. But maybe you want to, if you store secrets in isolated storage, you want to make sure that they are not copied over to your environment. Or if you have a active disabled kind of switch in a specific setup, then you want to go disable it, just like Microsoft is doing here, so that users won't suddenly get stuff running in the, just because they make a backup in the sandbox of stuff that only was supposed to run in production. So two simple events, and then you can make sure that you are a good friend towards all the people who copy environments, because that happens very, very often. I see so many customers now, oh, we're going to just then refresh our sandbox and so on, and they have learned that job queues are stopped, because that's what Microsoft is doing. So they are expecting you, that whatever you have done, to behave the same way. So it's kind of those things that it's not really written on a package, but it's a good idea. And I have another good idea for you. Check out this video, selected specially for you, filled with other good ideas. See you there. Take care. Bye.